Your birthday is tomorrow. You know it. You haven't mentioned it to anyone. You probably won't. And if someone brings it up, you'll smile, say, "Oh yeah," and immediately change the subject. You'll go to work. You'll make coffee. You'll answer emails. And somewhere between the morning and the evening, you'll let the whole thing pass quietly, deliberately, without ceremony. This looks like indifference. It looks like you don't care about yourself. But what if it's actually the opposite? You are not broken. You are not cold. You are not someone who can't receive love or pushes people away. You are someone whose nervous system learned, at some point, that expectations are dangerous, that celebrations can disappoint, that it's safer to need nothing than to need something and not get it. Your brain isn't failing you on your birthday, it's protecting you, and it has been for a long time. Here's where it starts. For a lot of people, birthdays weren't just birthdays growing up, they were tests. Would enough people show up? Would the right person remember? Would the day match what you'd quietly hoped for? And maybe it didn't. Maybe it did once, and then it didn't again. Maybe the silence on a birthday morning taught you something early, that needing to feel special is a risk you'd rather not take. So you stopped taking it. You learned to preempt the disappointment by wanting nothing at all. Psychologists call this a form of emotional self-protection. When the nervous system has experienced unmet expectations, especially in childhood, it begins to flatten desire as a coping strategy. If you don't hope for much, you can't be let down. It's not coldness, it's calibration. The brain learning to manage emotional risk before it arrives. And here's the part nobody tells you. Even when the people in your life times show up, even when someone does remember, does celebrate you, it can still feel uncomfortable, almost unbearable, actually. Because receiving attention on your birthday requires something that doesn't come easily to everyone. The willingness to be the center, to take up space, to say times yes. Today is about me. For people who were never quite given permission to do that, the spotlight doesn't feel warm. It feels exposed. This is where attachment style quietly enters the room. People with more avoidant tendencies, and this isn't a flaw, it's a pattern formed in response to real experiences, often find that closeness, attention, and vulnerability all arrive at once on a birthday. It's too much togetherness in too short a window. The low-key birthday isn't rejection, it's regulation. It's the way some people keep themselves from feeling overwhelmed by intimacy they don't quite know how to hold. Then there's the aging piece, which is different and worth separating out. For some people, birthdays become harder not because of the attention, but because of the mirror. Another year is a quiet audit. Where am I? Where did I think I'd be? A birthday forces a kind of reckoning that most days politely avoid. Treating it like a Tuesday is a way of refusing that reckoning, not out of denial, but out of self-preservation. The brain that skips the celebration isn't afraid of getting older. It's afraid of measuring itself and coming up short. This behavior shifts across a lifetime. In your 20s, skipping your birthday might feel like maturity. You're above the fuss. You don't need a fuss. In your 30s, it might feel like protection. In your 40s, it might feel like grief, quiet, and unnamed. The behavior looks the same on the outside, but what it's holding changes. The low-key birthday is not a fixed thing. It grows with you. It carries different weight in different seasons. What it always does, though what it has always done, is regulate. It is a blanket pulled over something tender. A way of keeping the day predictable when the emotional stakes feel too high. It gives the brain one thing it craves above almost everything else: control. Not control in a rigid, fearful sense. Control in the way that a familiar room feels safe. The way a quiet evening after a hard week feels like relief. The low-key birthday is the mind saying, "I will decide how this day feels. I will not leave that to chance." And there is something quietly powerful in that. So, if you are someone who lets your birthday pass like any other Wednesday, who doesn't announce it, doesn't plan it, doesn't make a production of it, you are not broken. You are not someone who doesn't deserve to be celebrated. You are someone who has learned to protect the softest parts of yourself in the best way you knew how. That's not a flaw, that's just being human, and that has always been enough.